Did you know that believing one common misconception can sabotage your entire decluttering journey? After coaching dozens of overwhelmed clients through decluttering overhauls, I pinpointed the exact lies that hold people back. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 decluttering lies, why they're hurting your progress, and how finding a new mindset can finally free you from clutter. As I'm recording this video, there are a crew of 6 men and 3 trucks outside of my house trimming our trees. A couple of months ago, my husband Scott and I decided, you know what, these trees are so low, they're so full, they need to be trimmed. Like it's gotten out of hand. Got a couple of quotes and bam, they are here trimming our trees. When we were discussing the trees, did we ever feel shame for hiring someone else to do that job? Did I make Scott feel like he should be doing that job himself or vice versa? Was I embarrassed for our neighbors to see their trucks in our driveway? No, of course not. But we often come across a much different attitude when it comes to hiring people to help us declutter. I would say at least 75% of our clients feel like they should be doing this task themselves, like it's taboo to hire help for decluttering. Even clients who are dealing with the estate of deceased family members, which is a massive job. We meet so many people who have tortured themselves for years trying to work alone and spent endless hours feeling bad because they just couldn't do it. Why is it that we have normalized hiring people out to trim our trees or mow our lawn, but having a supportive crew of people come in to help us with 20 years worth of stuff is a point of shame? This first decluttering lie is that you have to do it alone. Please stop thinking that. But if you're thinking, that sounds great, Marianne, but I don't have, the money or the resources to hire help to help me declutter. Well, that's not the only way to feel supported. Ask a friend for help. Look up tips on decluttering and how to let go of things. Watch decluttering videos just like this one. Ask a family member to help. Vent to a stranger. Just knowing we aren't alone in this burden is sometimes all we need. Because I promise you, you are not alone in this. But if you're thinking, you know what, Marianne, I actually don't completely hate decluttering and I have the time and I'm physically able to do it, but periodically I still get stuck or I feel like I'm doing it wrong. That could have something to do with this next lie. During the first couple years of our decluttering journey, I tried pretty much every strategy there is. I watched all the videos, listened to all the experts, and read all of the books. And very early on, there's a style that a lot of people use where you set a timer. So say you set the timer for maybe 30 minutes and you kind of declutter everything you can in that 30 minutes. You will still periodically see me do this in videos because I know it really works and helps other people. But personally, I can't stand it. The pressure of the timer just stresses me right out. And there was a point where this really threw me off my game. It slowed me down and then made the process just feel super uncomfortable. I couldn't figure out why this system worked for thousands of other people, but I couldn't get it to work for me. This is an example of lie number 2, which is that you have to do the same decluttering strategy as everyone else. Who cares if your brother-in-law swears by Swedish death cleaning or your cousin loves Marie Kondo? I love that for them. But you know what I love for you? Finding something that feels right for you. So Marianne, how do I find what style works for me? For the most part, it's trial and error. You don't necessarily need to love decluttering, but if a certain style makes the process so painful that you never want to do it again, then that's a sign it's probably not for you. Maybe you watch one of my videos that's all about using a challenge tracker to track how many things you're getting rid of. And as soon as you start watching it, you sort of tense up and it reminds you of this time you tried to do that, 5 years ago in your closet and it was like this terrible experience. Stop. Skip that video, try something else, move on. I often compare decluttering advice to parenting advice. There is a lot of information out there, but there's only going to be certain information that pertains to you and your family and your situation. One of the best pieces of advice that I got when I was pregnant with my first child was take what speaks to you and leave the rest. I have referred back to this advice so many times over the 8 years, whether it's with parenting or decluttering or any aspect of life. We all have different temperaments and we all have different life experiences. If you keep trying, I almost guarantee you will come across a decluttering style that speaks to you. Now, once you get going decluttering, you might find yourself worrying, am I letting go of too much or am I letting go of the wrong stuff? Which takes us to lie number 3. Nearly all of our clients have lost someone that is close to them. One client in particular lost their teenage daughter nearly 30 years ago. And this particular family had a few photos of her throughout their house. And in one of the closets, they had a couple of small baskets and totes filled with like memories from her life. But although they had a relatively small amount of items from her life, guess how many times she came up in conversation just while we were there? Every single day. Multiple times per day. She came up in conversation within the first 20 minutes that I was there for my initial consultation. And I could instantly sense the love they had for her. And that almost 30 years later, she was still front and center in their lives. This story is a debunking of lie number 3, which is that decluttering the items associated with a memory will declutter the memory as well. In my experience, in my own life and our clients, we find that it doesn't require many physical belongings, or maybe any, for our most precious memories to be kept alive. But if you're thinking, that's all well and good, but how do I know what to keep and how much? I suggest asking yourself questions like, what items do I love the most? What memory does this specific item invoke? How much space do I have to store my memorabilia and keepsakes? Do I want anything on display? I would even argue that owning fewer keepsakes makes the ones that you do keep even more special. If we have so many that we're not able to store them properly and we can't access them and we can't have anything on display, then really how much benefit and how much love are they bringing to our lives? I know this can be a heavy one, and please remember that everyone has their own timelines for dealing with sentimental items. But I just want to provide this gentle reminder that what I've found to be true is that our most precious memories live in our hearts. Maybe if you're thinking, okay, Marianne, I get it, decluttering is great, but there's still something holding you back. It could be lie number 4. I was at a barbecue a few years ago and a friend introduced me to someone new. And when she introduced me, she said, this is Marianne and she's a minimalist. And I remember doing like a double take, like, is that who I am now? Is that what I am known for now? But I thought, all right, let's roll with it. And the person I was meeting instantly responded with, oh, I could never be a minimalist. I love stuff too much, which threw me off equally as much. And I still think about this encounter over 3 years later. Maybe because I'm awkward meeting new people and I'm like still overanalyzing whatever I said in that conversation. But I think it also has sat with me because I was so shocked that someone assumed that by being a minimalist meant that, I hated things or I didn't love any of my belongings. And I live in an empty house with no color and no life and no fun. I always laugh at this because I actually think that the energy I put into protecting our physical spaces proves how much I love the things and spaces that I own and live in. I only bring in what I know I'm able to manage because I care about them so much. This takes us to lie number 4, which is the belief that we have to declutter everything. That decluttering means we have to give away our Beanie Baby collection and burn all our Christmas decorations. So far from the truth. One of my favorite quotes that relates to this is that minimalism is not a lack of something, it's simply the perfect amount of something. But how do you know what to let go of? To help you with that, I've created a free resource with the questions that we as professional organizers use with clients on every project, and that can both reduce the stress of the decision making while also massively speeding up the process. The link to that question sheet is at the very top of the description box below. Or what if you are maybe in the second half of your decluttering journey and your kids are grown up, but you're not really thinking, I actually want to downsize yet? Let me show you that maybe you don't have to decide that. A couple of weeks ago, I watched a video all about the downsides of downsizing. That is surprisingly hard to say. It shared stories of people who downsized too early and went into new homes that were too small and they no longer had rooms for their hobbies or rooms for their family to come visit. And the comments were filled with people with the same experience who missed their family homes or missed their neighbors, and they regretted their decision to downsize their home. And it sort of broke my heart to read all of this. Being ready to move into a smaller home or space that may be more accessible is a very personal decision with 100 factors to consider. But one of the common misconceptions that we often come across is that decluttering our homes is the same or means that we have to downsize our homes. Absolutely false. In fact, I want to take this one step further and show that decluttering can actually give us more freedom and flexibility. In situations where accessibility is an issue and we can maybe no longer do the stairs, families can potentially live on only the main floor. In other situations, maybe we declutter enough that then we can have our 19-year-old granddaughter come live with us while she's in town for college. Or maybe that spare room that is packed with clutter is finally your chance to have that beautiful art painting room that you've always dreamed of. I could easily give you 10 more examples that demonstrate if you love your house and you don't want to move, or at least not yet, decluttering it doesn't mean you necessarily have to leave it. And maybe that decluttering the excess can help us stay there longer. If you've had decluttering on your heart lately, I have a video all about the benefits of starting today and not waiting. You can find that one right here. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.